Welcome to the West Virginia Manufacturers Virtual Roundtable. We're talking to folks in the South Central region today, and I am Jamie Cope with the WVU Industrial Extension. Great to see everybody joining us, and excited to talk a little bit about manufacturers and manufacturing in our area. So just a real quick overview. I think everybody on here is pretty familiar with the Industrial Extension, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but I will say that, you know, we're problem solvers, right? If there's anything that's giving you trouble and you don't know who to call, we'd like to be the ones that you call. So definitely check in with us on that. I will do a little pitch. We've got some great new programs that are coming down the pike. We've got a Lean 101 that Randy Kowalczyk with our group has put together. That's fantastic. It's getting great reviews already. So definitely look for that Lean 101. Also, lots of new things coming in the health and safety world too, and leadership. So new programs coming all the time. So if you think you know what we do, but you're not sure, definitely check back. And I'd love to tell you about some of the new stuff we've got coming. And those health and safety guys are doing great work. Hey, we've got Justin with us. All right.
Sorry, guys. I got sidetracked at another location and just took a call from the president of our company and could not get
no worries at all. No worries at all. So like I said, Jamie Cope with the Industrial Extension. If you have questions, definitely put those in the chat, and Dave with our group will be filtering through those. Dave just does interrupt me, or you know, you can always interrupt Kevin or Justin. We don't care what they have to say either. So so if somebody has a question that we need to hear about, definitely hop on in there, Dave. But really, that's the basics about our group, and we're really excited always to partner with the West Virginia Economic Development group there. So Chris Polly is with us. He's actually in his truck because he's at a conference. But Chris, you want to talk to us a little bit about you and what's going on down in that part of the world?
Sure. Good morning, everybody. I'm in beautiful downtown Bluefield, West Virginia for the Bluefield Coal Show this morning. My office, I'm a regional manager of business retention and expansion. I cover a total of 12 counties throughout southern West Virginia and over through the Fayette County region, Summers County, Nicholas County. I help companies expand, grow, and kind of like Jamie, we try to solve problems for companies. I look forward to this. The roundtables are always a great event. I look forward to them every time we have them. So thank you, Jamie.
Yeah, thank you. And want to move on and talk to some of our manufacturers. If you've been on our roundtables before, we're going to go with a little bit of a different format. Instead of just talking about service, we're going to talk to a couple manufacturers about what's going on with them and how they're tackling some of their problems. And let's go ahead and start with you, Kevin. Kevin there at Precision, and Kevin, if you just want to give a brief introduction about who you are, what you do there at Precision, what Precision does, that would be fantastic.
Sure. And Jamie, thanks for having me. Excited to be here. Looking forward to just discussing and hopefully learning from other people as well. My name is Kevin Kimmer. I'm the owner and president here at Precision Pump and Valve Service. We are located in Cross Lanes, West Virginia, and also have a facility in Louisville, Kentucky, and a couple of satellite offices. But we're a family-owned business, been around 66 years, and really taking care of, our mantra is taking care of the infrastructure of America, right? So we provide products, we provide services, we do some manufacturing of things like control panels, but we're a lot like a job shop, and that's where the MEPs really helped us come in and find where we got, you know, this low volume, high variability type of a format of how we can become more efficient. But we provide, like I said, products and services to power plants, chemical plants, really the heavy industry and utilities throughout West Virginia and really the Ohio Valley and surrounding states, and like everybody trying to grow. And been doing this for a long time. And I love the theme already this morning of that the MEP are problem solvers, because we see ourselves as both problem finders. We're trying to go out there and keep infrastructure, keep plants up and running and things. So we've got to not only just solve people's problems, but also anticipate what they might be, try to get ahead of them, get into like things like preventative maintenance, predictable maintenance, and just keep people up and running, so that people have, gas in their cars and power in their houses, and their toilets flush and their water's running, and all those things that really separate us and make us, keep us being a first world country instead of a third world country. So, and that's what infrastructure does for America. So excited to be here, and looking forward to learning some things today.
Great, Kevin. Thanks. And let's just go ahead and hop over to Justin for a second. And Justin, you want to tell us a little bit about you and Brake Supply?
Yeah, so I'm the operations manager at Brake Supply. I've been with Brake Supply for over 20 years. We just celebrated our 75th anniversary this year. So long tenured company. We primarily we have operations in Beaver, West Virginia, and Princeton, West Virginia. Two different facilities. We primarily target heavy equipment repair at the Beaver facility. So we're repairing hydraulic components, hydraulic cylinders, pump, motor, valves, differentials, steering clutches, final drives, calipers, all that kind of stuff, mainly for the mining industry. So we tend to think of mining, and our part here is strictly coal mining, but we have a lot of customers, that are in gem mining, salt mining, gold mining. We're kind of have a large territory. Obviously, we support local business and the surrounding states, but we also have large customers out west, Canada, Mexico. So we'll anywhere we can find this equipment, we try to put ourselves in a position where we can service them. We do have some field mechanics. It's something that we do offer. We're also in the underground mining division as well. So we service a lot of steel mill industry type work. So we've coal used to kind of be the bread and butter, and through those peaks and valleys, we've had to branch out and find other revenue resources. So that's what we've tried to do through the years. So we know WVU's extension services. We've been a long time supporter of their services. So probably for over 15 years we've used their offering. So it's great to be a part of this roundtable this morning. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you, Justin. And full disclosure, you're on our board as well, right? So,
yeah.
So Dave and I will be particularly nice to you today. Just to sure.
Thank you.
Sure. So
best behavior.
Give us a good report to Stacy, please.
Yeah, there we go.
So Kevin,
I'm not sure that I have a best behavior.
So Kevin, one of the things, and I've had a chance to visit both your and Justin's shops, and one of the things that I like is whenever I'm dealing with somebody who gets lean, understands the importance of lean. So do you want to talk a little bit about how you're incorporating lean practices there at Precision?
Sure. Yeah. So my background, I was on a lean manufacturing committee for an association called the Valve Manufacturers Association, which was throughout the country. And we're a distributor and a manufacturer. So it was trying to take some of these lean concepts that are, straight assembly line and maybe the Toyota production system and things like that, and applying them again to like a job shop environment. And so what we've done is just really follow the script of like working with MEP and doing some 5S or 6S programs of just getting concepts introduced to our workforce. We've done that. Gosh, I think like Justin said, I think we've worked with you all for the last 15 plus years, and we've done I think way back as far as 2004, 2005, did some workshops. And it was amazing to see some of these lean concepts. You know, we sort of get introduced to the whole gamut of things, and then we sort of pick which ones, you know, the success stuff is a great place to start, of just getting your shop organized, finding new rooms. You know, it was almost like we had kids in a candy store when we found all these tools that we didn't know we had, and people were, you know, just grabbing them, and I just it was just it was a refreshing, or a breath of fresh air, to come in there and say, okay, yeah, we've got some low hanging fruit here to get more efficient, to improve morale, to get things more organized, cleaner, safer. That's a big step, and we're ready to do that again going forward. Is you know, we're up to like 95 people, and so we have a lot of employees that have not been introduced to this lean and workshop. So finding ways to work with what we have and be more efficient, that's really the starting place for us. You know, getting into some of the other things like visual controls, and to me, it's really just being efficient. That's really where it starts.
Sure, sure. Yeah, yeah. It's continuous improvement, which is why you know, you have to keep coming back to it, right? It's not something that you're ever done. You're not like, yeah, we're lean, check, done, right?
Absolutely.
And I know it's interesting because you and Justin are both job shops, I guess, as you would say. So it's an extra challenge to incorporate lean, because most people think of it, like you say, like the Toyotas. We've got Randy Rader with us. So yeah, like the NGK spark plugs, that makes kind of more sense in a global sense of lean. But Justin, I know when Randy Kowalczyk, our continuous improvement specialist, toured your place, he saw I think it's your job board that was up, and he may have had a tear that came down his eye. I don't know. He thought it was just perfect. So you want to talk a little bit about how you guys are incorporating lean as well?
Yeah, and I'll kind of echo a little bit of what Kevin said there. So we have I'll call it our lean journey. We've been on this journey for probably 15 years. So as Kevin said, you know, lean derived from Toyota. It's more geared around manufacturing. While, you know, we do manufacturing in our facilities, that is not all we do. So, you know, the biggest part of our business is remanufacturing. And so we just have to, you know, take the bits and pieces that we can pluck out of their processes and figure out how we can make it apply to our settings. Everything is not straightforward. You know, we've worked with many different people through the years with lean, and it's challenging to them, to even those instructors, because everything's geared around manufacturing, and we just deal with so many different you know, products, and so you know, you just have to make it apply to your facility. There's things that can work. We have multiple programs in place where we can, employees can submit, you know, continuous improvement ideas. You know, in the event that we implement those ideas, you know, we pay the employees. So there's incentives, you know, for using their ideas. You know, the people out on the floor, they're the ones who, you know, they're the experts. And a lot of the time, you know, with a lot of companies, you have, you know, upper management and executives, they think that they have all the great ideas and how things should be done. And, you know, the guys on the floor, they're the experts, and you know, listening to those guys and taking their suggestions, you know, we've been able to change a lot of our processes, and there's fruit that can be had from those experiences.
Sure, sure. And Randy, if it's all right, I am going to call on you. We've got Randy Rader with us from NGK Spark Plugs, and Kevin did mention 6S, which that 6S is safety. And I know whenever we met with your group and we're doing the tours and talking to folks, the folks that were involved with lean and safety were right there beside each other if it wasn't the same person wearing two hats. You want to talk about how safety and lean work together with you guys some?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. Sounds
Okay,
great.
good. Yeah, we've always had the 5S here ever since day one, since we're a Japanese company.
Sure.
And, it does give you I guess the cleanliness part of it is what most people think about, I guess. But then when you get into the other S's about getting rid of the things you don't need, and then having a place to put the things that you do need close to your operations or whatever, and then the things you need later on, store them at a different location, and having places for everything, a place for everything and everything in its place, really.
Sure.
It really helps out. Now we are getting ready to, and the guys from WVU came down and did an audit gap analysis for our 45,001. Actually, we did. We got an 87% on that gap analysis, but most of it was due to we don't have the system implemented yet. So that got us down to, knocked us down a little bit. But once we get that implemented, I think we're going to be on our way. But
Sure.
But yeah, that's going to be good too. So
Yeah.
but yeah, the 5S is, we're always talking about it.
Right.
And
Right.
it's got to be something you got to do. And
Yeah. That sustain S is the one. If you don't always talk about it, it just kind of goes away, right?
Sure.
That's where it fails. I think everybody's rah whenever they get started, but then as it goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Justin, Randy mentioned ISO stuff. He was talking about the audit where they just did well. I know you've had some ISO training recently as well. How's management systems working for you guys?
Yeah, just back up on the 5S, 6S. We actually have 7S. We added an additional S as spirit. So, to address team member, more so than ever, team members, their work experience is changing, and that landscape, COVID has wrecked that. So spirit has been added. So just throwing that out there. But yes, we have completed 2 different lean, actually 3 lean auditor training sessions at our facility. We have actually brought team members in from other facilities across the country. We've had people from Wyoming, Texas, Indiana, Virginia, and to come and take advantage of that training. It's been a good, with all the training WVU offers, it's nice to have a trainer that has worked and lived in what they're training going. These guys have they've had prior history, prior jobs with this stuff, so it's not it's not an MEP employee that went to a train the trainer course. These guys have been put in real life situations. They're able to answer questions, from a real life work situation and help work through that kind of stuff. So that's always helpful when you're just not going to a training session and looking at a screen and watching slides click through. There's interaction that's taken place. So, it's been a good experience.
Thank you. I think this would be a good time to plug our friend Chris Polly's Governor's Guaranteed Workforce. we'll credit it to him. He represents it for that area anyway. But yeah, so
Thank you, sir.
yeah, Chris, you want to talk just real quickly about Governor's Guarantee?
Yeah, Governor's Guaranteed is a fantastic program. And, in my prior life, I was general sales manager for an overhead bridge crane company, and we were continuously training our employees with OSHA and different training aspects, and it was a huge expense. And I wish I had known about this program. The program, it's a revolving door program. It's not an injection of funds one time and then you're done. You can reapply for them every year. It's a pretty easy application process. And basically what it would do, from a 50,000 foot overview, is it'll help you offset the training costs for your employees.
No,
And we can definitely get further into it. If anybody has any questions, let me know. I can put you in contact with Dave Rogers, the gentleman that is the director of that program, and they do a fantastic job with it.
And Dave's here with us as well. So I'm going to remind everybody, if you have questions,
there he goes.
Put those in the chat. And Dave, do you have anything you want to add to that? Dave Rogers?
I think Chris did a darn good job. Just everybody remember, you do have to be tax compliant when you apply. As he said, application is really very easy. It's about 3.5 pages. And, we have a cap of $2,000 per employee per the fiscal year. But, if you've got more employees than you need to send off for training, we can work with you to maybe double train some people and still stay under that cap. So, if you do have any more questions, please reach out, contact me. I can put my email in the chat if that would be helpful.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you, David.
Great. And if you've got any questions, just let me know.
Sure. So Kevin, I'll let you rest up for a while. We got a big question coming now. All right. So it's the question that everybody's talking about. Let's talk about workforce.
Sure.
How are you doing as far as filling the roles that you need filled? How are you keeping people? Talk to me a little bit about that.
So yeah, I mean, that's the biggest challenge for everybody right now is finding people, keeping people, retain. And so we've sort of did a 2-prong approach, and we're, I guess, developing it on the fly as we go. And it ties in great with what we've been able to do with Jamie, with you all and your folks, and with Chris and some of the different agencies out there. But it's investing in 2 things really, and it's culture and it's training. And the idea is, culture is going to keep good employees there. And if you've got a bad culture, people, everybody thinks people leave for money, right? But usually you leave because you're upset with a supervisor, you've got conflict with employees, and then that starts people looking. So investing in culture, and we've done, for us, we set up, we call it the precision rules, which is our values of respect, unheard of, excel, life, and sacrifice. So we developed this cultural system of values and things. And like I said, even when you do things like 5S, people love being invested in. And when that builds your culture where people are, it's not just a name or a number here, right? That they're your value here. I think one of my biggest proud things about our company is, okay, it's my family's company. It started in my grandpa's basement. My son works here. We're 4 generations deep, but we have father sons that have worked here. We have mother daughters that work here, mother sons that work here. It's father daughters. It's not just my family. It's if you can go to a place of work and it's work, it's a job, but if it's good enough to you to recommend to your family members, your son or your daughter to work there, then it feels like you're doing something right. And for us to be able to grow and bring in that type of people, we don't do a lot of advertising for hiring people. It's a lot of word of mouth, and we have turnover like everybody else, but focusing on that culture. And then the second part of it is, especially with the new generations, everybody wants to knock millennials and things like that. We have to adjust to them. That's where the new workforce is going to come. And so investing in training, and instead of looking for a 20-year pump technician that maybe everybody's going to clamor for, we need to build that person. And then so the training is something that's we can build them from scratch. You find somebody that, here's so many companies that, I just want somebody that can pass a drug test. Well, we've got to do something with those employees once they pass that drug test, or they're going to be gone in 6 months.
Sure.
And so investing in training for you all, we're working with Dave Carrick for, it seems like years and years. I'm not sure. I think he might have snuck onto my payroll somehow. He was here so much, but building work instructions and how we're going, and we still got a lot of work to do to implement that stuff. But so people they understand not just what to do, but why they need to do it. That's going to get them here, and then the training and the culture is going to keep them here for the long haul. And so that's how we're addressing this workforce challenge.
No, that's great. That's great. And it's interesting that the culture conversation is happening a lot more than it did even like 3 or 4 years ago. I think that's a big thing. And Justin mentioned spirit. So I know culture.
I'm stealing that. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm sure that the culture is a big part of your workforce attraction and retention as well.
Yeah. I mean, historically, our company has had a very low turnover rate. 3 years ago, I think our least tenured team member had been with us for 5 years. So we have a lot of long tenured people. Our hope is that we hire people and they retire from our facility, but recent days, COVID, the working from home has changed things. Our economy issues, it's changing the landscape. So, these things that used to not be that big of a deal, wages now, people are paying unprecedented wages to steal people, to attract people. It's recently started to affect us a little bit. So, we have to combat it. So we have to look at our wages and see, are we where we need to be at? Are we offering the best benefits that we can give? Kind of like Kevin said, historically, we didn't really, we didn't have to advertise, openings at our company. If we had an opening, I could fill it, before the day was over. And today, that's not the case. So, we're running ads, we're Indeeds, we're Monsters. Our company has hired a full-time recruiter. So things that, in the past that we really didn't have to worry about now, the landscape has changed. And so, people are getting what they can get. They may know, in years past, somebody may know that they could jump ship and make an extra buck or two, but they knew that it wouldn't last, and that would prevent them in the years past. Now it seems people are getting while they, what they can get while they can get it, and if it's a better offer, a better deal, they're trying to take advantage of it while they can. So it has been a challenge for us finding, skilled people and even non-skilled people. It just seems like, jobs that we could easily fill. There's a lot of people, that just don't want to work. And
Sure.
Obviously, we took care of people and we paid people while they were off, and I think that got people accustomed and they changed their lifestyles, and hopefully, we have that behind us now, but we have a workforce shortage, and it's definitely an issue.
Sure. And you were talking about the culture, and one of the things that I have been seeing over and over is how safety plays into the culture of a facility. do you want to talk a little bit about that? And then I want to hear some of what Kevin has to say about that too. But like, do you think that that showing your employees that you care enough to keep them safe, I guess, is a driver for the culture?
Yeah. So, you know, safety within our facility, you know, we have weekly safety audits. We use people on the floor that can conduct those audits. We have team leaders that also conduct these weekly, monthly safety audits. We have safety meetings with the employees. You know, we have multiple customers that we do business with for insurance purposes and stuff. Safety incident, you know, numbers are reported back to these companies. You know, they won't allow you on the property. So, you know, our team members, you know, realize that they have a vested interest. It ties back to financials and, you know, rate increases as well. Anybody, you know, that sees an unsafe, you know, act going on in our facility, no matter, you know, if it's somebody working in IC or, you know, how long they've been there, they have the ability and right to stop an unsafe act and get a team leader involved to ensure somebody's not getting hurt. And we do have drug testing and alcohol policies in place. You know, I know a lot of companies with these staffing shortages, a lot of companies, they've done away with their drug testing policies just to retain employees and get new employees. But you know, it's not worth the risk. We also have safety incentive programs where similar to, you know, continuous improvement or lean, that team members can submit safety suggestions. In the event that, you know, we implement those suggestions, they're compensated for those suggestions. So we have electronic, you know, version and just the old simple card version too, where people can submit this stuff and get their ideas out. But you know, we want people to go home the same way that they arrived, and you know, everybody is on board with safety.
Sure. So Kevin, yeah, talk a little bit about how safety plays a role in culture with you as well. I know you've used us for a lot of safety training. So
Yeah, you guys have been a great resource for us. And you know, I'm in previous life I was a practice law, so you know, I get the liability side of owning a business or running a business, but it's really got, I mean, I'm sure everybody's on here, it's got to be genuinely concerned for your people, and they've got to see that, they got to feel that. And you know, we're going to tie, like, we have a new safety director, and you know, when we do our 5S 6S stuff, you know, one of his goals is going to be to have that sustaining of just the housekeeping and making sure that he's a champion, that he's deputizing other champions within our culture. One sort of tip or tactic that we've used that's really helped us is, you know, everybody, you know, we have this required safety training that the OSHA and requires every year, and people can't learn through death by PowerPoint, right? And what we've learned, even through the 6S programs and some of the other things we've done with you all, Jamie, is just get that employee engagement up. And so it's not just training them and retraining them on, again, the what they most of our guys know what to do, right? But it's that 1 out of 100 times when they, you know, keeping them from taking a shortcut, or, you know, talking when Justin said everybody has a chance to pull the chain if they see something unsafe. Well, we train our people on how to have that conversation. We'll actually do role play, because when there's a 6-month employee that sees a 30-year employee doing something unsafe, that's a very hard conversation to have. And so they know they're supposed to do it, but we just recognize the reality of the situation, that, and sort of, okay, what does that sound like? And what's the response? And how are we going to react to that? And I guess I just call it having real conversations and getting deeper, so that they know we're not just checking the box that we did the training, but we really mean what we say. And when we have we had a first aid eye injury here recently, and I ended up at the safety guy was out, so I ended up at urgent care sitting in the waiting room with the guy, and then taking him out to get him some some ointment or whatever. And I never yelled at him. We had a conversation, and he knows he's going to be the topic of our next safety training, and he's going to have to talk about what happened, what he did wrong. But it's also about, okay, what led you to make a bad decision on PPE, or what within our training might have been confusing, or what could we have done to really bring the point home a little bit better. And so it's a partnership with your people. Of not safety used to be about getting people in trouble and a necessary evil, and now it's a sales tool. It's a way to get more business, and it's a way to make their our employees and their families okay with them coming to work here every day and going back home.
No, that's great. That's great. So I want to remind everybody, this would be a good time to put questions in the chat if you've got some. Would love to hear from some of the folks on the call if they've got anything that they'd like to share. Justin, if you have anything you'd like to share that I haven't covered, just jump on in.
I don't know. I don't mean. I know David got on and spoke for a minute, but maybe I'm stating the obvious, but we've actually used the governor's guaranteed workforce to help pay for training that we've received from WVU MEP. So take advantage of that money, and
Sure.
it's a I've used it multiple times. I've worked with David and his group, and it's a painless process. In the event that that you don't understand something, those guys have been really good to help out any way that they can, as far as picking up the phone, giving them a call, and then pointing you right in the right direction. So yes, that's a good program.
No, thank you. Yeah, and I'll say, just so David Rogers doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be training with the WVU Industrial Extension. I mean, obviously that's going to be the best training
Right.
you can get.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I appreciate that, Justin. That's fantastic, and it is a great program, and it just helps. The levels that it helps with are just you can't even fathom the things that go on. So. Yeah, David Rogers says, how much did I agree to pay you guys for that plug? So how about you,
David,
Kevin?
you can make that check payable to the other David on this call, and there should be a lot of zeros at the end of it after a couple of commas.
So Kevin, you want to talk about anything else that we haven't covered yet?
Yeah, I think just sort of emphasizing, I don't know who all's on here. Hopefully everybody's is a client and a partner with Jamie, with your folks. But one of the best benefits, aside from just knowing David Carrick and the greatness that he is, one of the best benefits is you all have helped us navigate all the agencies throughout the state that have money available and training available, and you hooked us up like with your own training, but also with Chris Polly, who we've done a tour of the facilities up at the Dow Technical Park about building our own training program. You've hooked us up, and then Chris and I, we've been down to like the Putnam County, the technical center, and we're finding, that's a great place to find employees when we're talking about workforce development, and just linking us up, because I'll be honest, there's so many resources available of time and money and people. And it's hard as a business owner to figure out who does what and where it goes. And so you all help us navigate those waters, whether it includes you or not. And so we've built a lot of good relationships with other agencies. It's saved us tens of thousands of dollars. It's enhanced our training program. So I think that's one of the best benefits you all offer, is just navigating the waters of available resources out there for West Virginia companies.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for that, Kevin. And there are some great resources out there. And yeah, we try to keep in touch with all of those folks. I see Victoria Russo's on here. I'm sure you've met her. She's a hustler, does great work there in Kanawha County, and some of the surrounding counties. And yeah, and several of the EDAs they're either on the call or had legitimate excuses why they couldn't be and said, could you please send me a recording? I want to know what's going on. So yeah, it's great to have a support structure, but somebody who can kind of help you through that. We try to be that person as much as we can. So I appreciate that as well. So I don't see anything else that any other questions out there. So I don't want to stand too far between everybody and lunch.
Yeah, and I will say this. I mean, we've talked a lot about trainings and what trainings offerings and networking people. The MEP, that's their target is people, manufacturers in West Virginia, and it's really surprising. Sometimes a company can be struggling in a certain area and need help, I don't know, with being able to machine a certain part, and they can't, they're outsourcing this machine work to a company in Texas, and they don't realize that 2 counties over is a company that can help them out. And the MEP helps, put those companies together.
Sure. Yeah. No, I appreciate that. It's very different. We have the luxury, I guess, of visiting a lot of you guys, which is fun. So if you're a manufacturer and we haven't come to see you, or even come to see you recently, let me know. I'm always looking for places to visit. I mean, it's good to know what everybody does so that we can make those connections like Justin was talking about. So Dave Carrick, do you have anything you'd like to add before we say goodbye?
All I want to say, I have been around for a lot longer than I'd like to admit these days. The gray in my beard shows that. But I can tell you, companies like NGK, Precision, Brake Supply, there's so many companies in the state that we love working with. We love having those relationships with. And I heard all of you echo things that really kind of pulled at my manufacturing heartstrings, because it's stuff that a lot of people struggle to understand when it comes to continuous improvement, quality, and just managing a workforce. So, it's because of great companies like you and all the other companies, we have one of the best jobs in the state. We love what we do, and we're really appreciative that you guys take the time to spend with us this morning and talk about it. And full disclosure, we did not pay any of them to say those nice things. Somehow we just got lucky enough to do it right for each of them. So, but yeah, guys, I do appreciate your time, and look forward to working with y'all in the future some more.
All right. Thank you, Dave. And yeah, big thank you to everybody who participated and just came out on the call. We'll be sending a recording of this out to whoever would like a copy, and anybody who's registered. And never hesitate to reach out to any of us. I think everybody on the call is open to discussion. So thanks so much. And we've got another roundtable coming up in a couple of weeks. So if you're not regionally based, we'd love to have you on that one as well. So thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great, fantastic day.
Thanks, Jamie. Good job.
Thank you.